What's going on, super friends? Welcome back to another video. So today what I really want to touch up on is how us as creative individuals, as freelancers, how we can use time management to actually create a lot more stuff and work a lot less. I know personally for myself, I always think I'm busy. I always think I'm working on all my projects and I'm doing so much, when in reality, I'm not doing almost anything. So one of the things that has helped me to get a lot more done is to manage my time better as a creative. So let's talk about time management. So I learned my lesson from the last video, no more blown out skies, hopefully. But so time management is like one of those things that if you really don't pay attention to, it's gonna trip you up a lot. But if you start calculating it and you start managing it, can help out so much, and you realize so many things and how much time is actually being wasted. It's crazy. Yeah, so let's get into the first few tips for time management and what we should watch out for. All right, so one of the main things for us not to waste time as creatives is we have to be clear on what our goals are and what our intentions are. A lot of times we waste time because we have no idea what we want to do. We don't know what kind of content we want to record. We don't know who we're trying to talk to. We don't know what the topic is. We're not clear. So we end up wasting a lot of time just trying to figure all these things out, and then we end up doing nothing at the end. So we have to be very, very clear on what our goal is, whether it's a numerical goal, whether it's just a creation goal in itself. But we have to be clear, and then we have to cut it down to like bite-sized chunks of things to do to fulfill that goal. That's gonna help us free out so much time because we're actually working on a very specific thing instead of a lot of like craziness. Second thing that we really have to pay attention to when it comes to time management is time blocking. We actually have to take out a certain time of the day to do the things that we need to do, and these are non-negotiable. So whether it's 2 hours in the day that you just completely set apart to work on your stuff, you have to do it. Whether it's whatever, in the morning when you wake up from 8 to 10, or if it's from 6 to 8, whatever that time frame is, you're only gonna use that time frame to work on creating ideas or editing the things that you already have ready. And like I said, these are non-negotiables. You have to use that time. So what can help with this time blocking is to remove any type of distraction, is to set up your space during that time, turn off your phone, leave your phone in another room, put your phone on D&D, make sure that nobody's calling you, make sure that nothing else can come up or happen, and just crank out work during that time. And you will see that you get so much done in time blocking than actually just leaving the whole day open to create stuff. So if time blocking is too much for you or just stresses you out to even think about that as a concept, try a smaller dosage of it, which is known as the Pomodoro Technique. And this technique basically is just describing to take a small chunk of time and take breaks in between, but they're focused chunks. So whether it's 25 minutes or 45 minutes, you set a timer, right, for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you just work during that time. Once the timer hits, you stop. You take a break, go for a walk, do whatever you got to do, and then come back and then do another 30-minute chunk, another 45-minute chunk, and then once that's up, you take another break. So what this does is it helps you get into the habit of kind of time blocking. But if you have like ADHD or something and it's just hard for you to focus for 2 hours, this is a nice way for you to still get the same kind of amount of work done or the same focus, but just in like kind of smaller sprints and smaller bursts. And this also helps out so much because you at least are able to focus on a task for a smaller amount of time, but it's a certain amount of time. And I'll leave you with 2 more tips. I think the last one is very important, so definitely stick around for that. The next one is we have to learn how to say no. And we have to learn how to say no to the things that aren't aligned with our goals, that aren't on the schedule, that were not planned. We need to say no to these things because there's so many emergencies and distractions that come up that are not planned and they're not for us, but they're making us lose time and not actually create and do the work that we need to be working on. So learn how to say no, figure out what those things are, and the sooner you do that, then the more focused and the more time you'll have for all your creative endeavors.